breaking out. And the second one was the attack before the operation in Venezuela, the attack on Putin's residence. These are huge. Looking at the curve, the attack on bombers right now is major escalation attacking on Putin. And what is going on in the mind of Russian analysts close to Vladimir Putin? How do they realize, how do they understand the situation with the Trump administration? Because we know if something happens to Vladimir Putin, we're going to have a nuclear war. There is no way out. Whoever going to replace him, he's going to bring a nuclear war. He's going to attack London. He's going to attack all these decision makers in Europe. What is your take on that? And how far they want to go?
Well, I mean, this is one of the fundamental discussions. This is why I go to Russia, just so everybody understands, so I can have these conversations and talk to people. I just finished doing a very lengthy interview with Sergei Karaganov. He's a prominent Russian political scientist. And he's a man who's very anti-Russian interaction with the West. He believes that Russia should pivot to the East and work with China, that there's no future for Russia in the West because the West is an untrustworthy negotiating partner. He's 100% correct. But here's the thing. He believes that the West is bluffing. I mean, he's a prominent believer. He doesn't believe in nuclear disarmament. This is where he and I have clashed in the past because I'm an advocate, or at least I have been. I don't know where I stand today. I'm an advocate for meaningful disarmament. But from the Russian perspective, how could you possibly get involved in meaningful disarmament with an American negotiating partner who's untrustworthy? Because the key to disarmament is the mutual benefit of the pact and the binding nature of the pact. And the United States just can't be trusted at all. And so rather than limit your nuclear force, I mean, if anything, the behavior of the United States promotes the notion of Russia enhancing its nuclear deterrent, expanding its nuclear capabilities. Not the direction I want to go, but I understand it. But Karaganov believes that the United States is bluffing, that the United States will never use nuclear weapons to defend Europe, and that if Europe continues to pose an existential threat to Russia, that Russia should use nuclear weapons against Europe. And he wrote a piece a couple of years ago where he said the United States is not willing to trade Boston for Poznan, meaning that Russia can drop a nuke on Poznan and the United States will do nothing. That's a hell of a statement, a hell of a gamble. And this is a man who has sat next to Vladimir Putin. This is a man who participates in the Valdai Club. And